This is Golden Lloyd. He was released in 2013, appears in 3 sets, and he might just be one of the best LEGO Ninjago minifigures of all time. And this is Legacy Kai. He was released in 2019, appears in 18 sets, and he might just be one of the worst LEGO Ninjago minifigures of all time. Today we're going to be taking a look at the worst versus the best LEGO Ninjago minifigures of all time, based off my own opinion of course. If you go on to enjoy this video, please consider liking, commenting and subscribing. Let's go. Starting off with the worst is the Ninjago movie version of Zane. Straight off the bat, I dislike this minifigure because it doesn't match all the other ninja from the Ninjago movie. They all have black outfits with their colours highlighted, yet Zane is completely white for some reason. And I dislike inconsistency between the ninjas' suits. I also dislike Zane's face in the Ninjago movie. It looks stupid and they made the character into a complete idiot. Despite just having said dislike 3 times, I don't enjoy being this negative about LEGO, though I really despise this minifigure. Now moving on to one of the best Ninjago minifigures, Golden Lloyd. I won't say too much because I already mentioned him in the intro, but this is an amazing and iconic minifigure, 10 out of 10. Now for another one of the worst minifigures, we have Daddy No Legs. Get it? Like Daddy Long Legs the spider? Yeah, it's a pretty weird name. Anyway, I don't like this minifigure. Ninjago seems to love doing these weird spider-legged characters, for example Overlord and Glutinous, and here I'm just not a fan of it. I actually like most of the Dragon Hunter minifigures, though this guy just doesn't do it for me. And I've also never really liked this hairpiece because it hardly ever connects properly, though at least there is a stud here to fix that. And next for a great minifigure, we have my favourite Ninjago character, Pythor Chumsworth, who has had 5 different versions across 6 sets. I love this character and I love this minifigure. I have always thought that the head mold looks really cool and I love the tail piece. The first iteration of this minifigure was in 2012 with the Ultrasonic Raider. The next was in 2015's Ninja DBX, where his scales had been bleached white. Then there's my personal favourite version of him in 2016's Samurai X Cave Chaos, one of my most wanted sets. Then there was a legacy version of him in 2 sets in 2019. And finally, his return in Ninjago Crystallized was depicted in minifigure form in 2022. I really don't know why I like this character so much. I even named myself after him. I'm actually quite scared of snakes. Anyway, I'm getting off track though. This minifigure rocks. Now moving back to bad minifigures, we have some more snakes. Rattler, Snapper, Snike, and Lasher. Generally speaking, I love the OG Ninjago Serpentine, and I love the symmetry between them. There's 4 Serpentine in each tribe, and each tribe has a general. One other figure in that tribe shares the general's head with different printing. And another member of each tribe has a unique head recoloured for one other tribe. Then there's the snakes that use a minifigure head with a unique hat/hair sort of piece that is also recoloured for one other member of another tribe. And those last ones are the minifigures I dislike. And I know what I just said is fairly confusing, so bear with me here. I don't think the minifigure heads really work on snakes. I much prefer the moulded ones. The printing on the figures is perfectly fine, and it's actually pretty good. I just really don't like minifigure heads on snakes. Which fortunately doesn't happen very often in Ninjago, because most snakes now have moulded heads. Switching back to some great suits, we have the Dragon Form Ninja, and these guys really look awesome. They were released in 2022 for Ninjago Crystallized, each appearing in only 1 set alongside their corresponding villain. Cole had Vangelis, Kai had a Sphera, Zane had Mr. E, and Jay had no one. However, Jay was in a set where the golden suit Jay should have appeared, and vice versa, which would make Pythor Jay's villain, something they sort of hinted at in the Legacy Stormfighter. And these minifigures are super cool. They each have these gigantic wings, as well as translucent pieces like heads, arms and legs, and dual moulded dragon helmets. The printing here is also phenomenal. It's a shame that we never saw Lloyd and Nia in this form. Remember how I was talking before about how I don't like snake minifigures with heads? Point in case, the Vermilion. These guys were the antagonists in one of Ninjago's notoriously worst seasons, Season 7, Hands of Time. Yes, Season 7 definitely feels like a half-baked fever dream. Acronyx and Crux were very cool villains, but their henchmen, the Vermilion, were just so bland and forgettable. Not a whole lot to say about them, I just think that they look bad. Next is a great set of suits out of Ninjago Crystallized, the Fugitive Armour. Ninjago Crystallized by far had the most different outfits for the ninja. They had the Fugitive Armour, the Golden Armour, and the Dragon forms. And in the show they wear these black suits, as well as these prison outfits. And the fugitive ones are definitely my favourite. Lloyd appeared in the Crystal King set, and Kai, Jay, Cole and Zane all appeared in the Crystal King Temple set. I really love here how Kai, Lloyd and Jay all use complementary darker colours on their arms and their headbands, and Zane uses that blue that has been present since Season 11, and Cole uses that nice orange colour that has also crept in since Season 11. I love the continuity with the suits here, and with all the layers and the printing they look incredible. It's a shame that the Dragons Rising outfits were a bit of a downgrade. Moving back to some bad minifigures, we have the Legacy Skullin. The original Skullin was some really cool LEGO minifigures. They all used unique legs and shoulder pads, and these nice moulded heads. They honestly looked pretty weird, but they were the very first Ninjago villains, and they were great. The Legacy versions of the Skullin, however, are severely worse. They all use the same skeleton headpiece, just with different printing, and the same generic skeleton leg pieces that are seen everywhere. The only thing that's really different about each of them is the hat and the hair. This feels very lazy to me, and they are just so much worse than the originals. They couldn't even be bothered making a Legacy Samurai, which would make for a very interesting minifigure. In general, I think all of the Legacy villains are a lot weaker than the originals. Next is my personal favourite set of ninja suits, the ZX outfits. And do I even have to explain why? These suits are so amazing, they're just so classic Ninjago. They were featured in one of the earliest waves of Ninjago, Season 1, and they're just so fire. Unfortunately I don't have him, though I think Lloyd is the best with the gunmetal grey shoulder pads, the dark green arms, and the silver printing. And Kai is my second favourite. I really like all the dark red on him. These are all really fantastic outfits, and I think almost every Ninjago fan would agree. Also, random fun fact, ZX Zane was my first LEGO Ninjago minifigure ever, which I got in the Venomari Shrine. Moving on to some more of the worst Ninjago minifigures, we have the Wack Rats. I hate these guys. I remember when I first saw the leaked sets of Prime Empire, I thought these minifigures were wolves. Boy was I wrong. I don't even know how to explain it, I just think these guys suck and they look dumb and stupid. Very intelligent and descriptive words I'm using here, I know, but I just really hate the look of them. I think that the other villains from Prime Empire, the Red Visors, are significantly cooler and more threatening looking villains. And now let's talk about some great Ninjago minifigures. The Golden 10th Anniversary Ninja, which all appear in only one set each, and the employee exclusive Temple of Celebrations, and one random book for Lloyd. Anyway, these suits are cool, and they were made to celebrate 10 years of the theme. And each ninja is based off a different season. Kai and Zane were both based off Forbidden Spinjitzu, because they were on the Forbidden Spinjitzu boxes. Jay is Prime Empire, just like he was on the boxes, and Cole is Master of the Mountain, just like he was on the boxes. I think Lloyd is supposed to be the island version, as he was on the island boxes, but don't quote me on that. And Nia is the exception, because she is also in an island outfit, when she should have been in a golden scuba outfit from Seabound, unless this is meant to be a golden version of her water form seen on the Seabound boxes, though I don't think so. Also, another random gripe is that Island Nia doesn't actually use a headband hairpiece, unlike all the other ninja, bar Zane, and instead uses a regular hairpiece. However, later that same year, this minifigure came out and introduced a hair with a headband piece for Nia. So if you have Island Nia and a spare one of this piece, I highly recommend swapping out Island Nia's hair for this piece. However, I am no longer just off track, I am completely derailed, so let's get back to the Golden Ninja. Wu came in the Ninjago City Gardens and had a gold face, unlike all the others. Anyway, these are some great minifigures. Back to some bad minifigures, next being the Munts. I don't like these guys. They use the Dragon Hunter shoulder piece, recoloured in reddish brown and tan, which I don't really think is a good colour combination. And they use that hairpiece I don't really like. At least they are sand green though, one of my favourite LEGO colours. And in the sets for Master of the Mountains, they were wrongly portrayed alongside the Geckles as being villains. Long story short, like most of the minifigures on this list, I simply don't like the look of them. Now for a great character, the Overlord. There have been about 4 or so versions of this guy, and they all look really good. The Crystal King version is of course awesome, and the first Legacy version is pretty creepy. The second Legacy version is also cool and was exclusive to the somewhat obscure The Overlord Dragon set. My favourite, however, is the first version we received, the Golden Master Overlord from the Battle for Ninjago City set in 2014. This figure comes with both legs and a robe piece, although if I'm being honest, I've never used the legs on him. The printing here looks really good and the face is great, as well as this cool old helmet piece from some castle sets. This is definitely one of my favourite LEGO Ninjago minifigures. Now maybe I'm just biased towards the Will film era of Ninjago, but I really don't like any of the Wild Brain era villains. For example, I have already dissed the Wack Rats and the Munts, and the subject matter here is the Island Keepers. I'll start by saying that Chief Mammotus looks cool, though I don't really like any of the rest of them. I'm not really a big fan of the LEGO lavender colour, and these guys are completely covered in it. Though I do like the tiki mask that is reminiscent of the one from Minifigures Series 11. I don't like the newer style of conical hat here, I actually prefer the older one. It is also worth mentioning that I think this is one of the only instances of two minifigure heads stacked on top of each other in a set. Basically, I don't think these guys are that great. And the final minifigure on this list is a super cool one that I hope to acquire sometime in the near future, Possessed Lloyd. This figure is so cool. He is cooler than Deepstone Lloyd and Morrow combined. I love the hood and the shoulder pad piece on this minifigure, and I love the face and I love the printing. 11 out of 10, standout minifig. That has been the worst versus the best LEGO Ninjago minifigures. Let me know your favourite and least favourite Ninjago minifigures in the comments below, and consider liking and subscribing. That's been all for today folks, have yourselves a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and see you next week.